Teacher talking sports, what it does, what it do, how we live. And while Tuesday was the regular season opener, 2 games in the NBA, the majority of teams had their regular season opener last night. A lot of players got off to very slow starts shooting the ball. I'll get into that in a little bit. But first, I wanted to discuss the flopping penalty. Now, this is the first year that the NBA has implemented this rule. It's a good thing that they want to get rid of flopping. Sometimes it can happen quite frequently, but I just thought it was very imperfect. I talked about it before the season. I believe I did a short on it. So let's just quickly go over the rule. This is via NBA.com. So they approved an in game flopping penalty. So it mentions when a game official calls a flop or a physical act that reasonably appears to be intended to cause the officials to call a foul on another player, the offending player will be charged with a non unsportsmanlike technical foul, and the opposing team will be awarded one free throw attempt, which can be attempted by any player who is in the game when a technical foul is assessed. Player will not be ejected from a game based on flopping violations. So, yes, 2 technicals, you get ejected. You could have 3 flops and still not be ejected, 6 flops. They don't count towards those 2 technicals for an ejection. Referees will not be required to stop live play to call a flopping violation. So, I actually saw it where an offensive player in the Knicks game got called for a flop. More on that in a little bit. And they waited till the Celtics missed the shot on the other end before they called the flop. So also mentions that now for the 2023-24 season, the post-game monetary penalty system for flops has been modified to replicate that technical fouls, with fines starting at $2,000 and increasing incrementally for repeat offenders. So again, it's a good thing that they want to get rid of flopping. The problem is it's just completely subjective, these calls. Look at how many times in the NBA a referee has been duped by a player flopping, and now all of a sudden you want him to get it right all the time. Like, just notice every time, oh, this is a flop, not a foul. And I want to mention I am a Knicks fan, so maybe I'm a little biased, but I'm not biased here because you could see, as I mentioned, the Knicks offensive player, this was Jalen Brunson, got called for a flop. Well, it happened on a 3 point attempt. He missed, but Jason Tatum landed under him. So that actually probably should have been a foul on Tatum, wasn't called. Brunson landed on his foot and then landed awkwardly, kind of just, fell to the side as he was falling down. So then they waited till the Celtics missed a shot on the other end to call the flop on Brunson, which wasn't a flop. It probably should have been a foul on Tatum. So these can't be reviewed. They did call a flop on Porzingis in the game for the Celtics, and it was a flop. He wasn't hit, and acted like he was, but I'm not sure what happened in the other games. How many flops were called, but it's what are you going to do to a player that gets called for a flop and they don't flop? You're going to say sorry to him? Are you going to pay him $2,000? Obviously, you're not going to. But, Jalen Brunson called for a flop. He didn't flop. He landed on Jason Tatum's foot, which is going to cause you to land awkwardly. I'm not sure what happened in the other games. I plan on, looking to see if other flops got called. I know none got called on Tuesday, but again, it's definitely a hard thing. They can't be reviewed. And what would you do? Review each flop? Now with challenges, you don't want to slow the game down even more. So it's just something, we'll see how it works as the season goes on, but it's just going to be imperfect, and you're going to see players called for flops who aren't actually flopping, and there probably will be fouls called on players that, excuse me, on a player that sees the other player doing the flopping. So it's just not going to be perfect. But as I mentioned, a lot of players off to slow shooting starts. Some of the star players that really struggled yesterday, these are their field goal shootings. Trey Young, 4 for 19. DeJounte Murray, 3 for 14. LaMelo Ball, 4 for 15. Julius Randle, 5 for 22. Jalen Brunson, 6 for 21. Jalen Green, 2 for 10. Jimmy Butler, 6 for 18. Tyler Hero, 7 for 24. Karl Anthony Towns, 8 for 25. Anthony Edwards, 8 for 27. Pascal Siakam, 5 for 17. Zach LaVine, 4 for 16. De'Aaron Fox, 6 for 18. I say that to say this. Fans often like to overreact. It's the first game. It often happens in the first game of a season. But yes, a lot of players did. A lot of very good players got off to slow starts shooting the ball, but you expect that to correct itself. A lot of rust going on with first regular season game, so nothing really to worry about for those fans. But of course, if it continues, maybe so. Anyhow, let me know your thoughts on the flopping rule. How do you think it will help this season? Will it help? Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.